Hello and welcome to today's video. Now today I'm going to be talking about the Overwatch League Week 5 matches for the Summer Stage qualifiers. But obviously before we get into that, let's first talk about next week, which has some pretty spicy matches. It's mainly going to be about two teams, the Florida Mayhem and the Atlanta Reign. Why? Because the top two has still not been decided yet. Houston Outlaws, I will say this: the Houston Outlaws are in the playoffs since that they finished inside of the top three. And I'm pretty sure it's because Boston Uprising had a very shaky week in the West region. But so yeah, it's mainly going to be about these two: the Florida Mayhem and the Atlanta Reign. The Mayhem should have a very easy win since that the Valiant aren't that good. The Atlanta Reign, however, is going to be a bit of an issue. Because, the Shock, they've been slowly improving, not by a lot, but slowly improving, and the Shock are a better opponent than the Valiant. This match will really depend on if the Mayhem will be the first seed or the second seed in the West region. So other than that, it's nothing really else. Maybe even Toronto and Washington might be interesting. I'm pretty sure there's playoffs, because I'm pretty sure some of the playoffs have not been decided, or I should say play-ins have not been decided yet, so we'll see what happens there. So let's now have a look at this week's matches, and there's only a couple, so we'll get through this very, very shortly. First, start off with the London Spitfire. They beat out against the LA Valiant 3-1. Only Nambani went to the side of Valiant, and it was also the first time that we got to see Flashpoint, which is basically, I say it as 2CP, but on crack. I played Flashpoint, I'm pretty sure it was Savasa. I'm pretty sure I played Flashpoint on there, and it was really confusing. It's basically just 2CP just on crack. Like, I'm pretty sure there's like 3 different objectives, like 3 different checkpoints, or basically points to capture, and it's confusing either way. But only the money went to the side of Valiant and Hardy getting MVP for that. Thanks, Eternal. They continue their absolutely shit season after losing against the Houston Outlaws of 3-0. Violet gained MVP for that. The Atlanta Reign, they beat out the Washington Justice of 3-0, and Dong Hak gained MVP. And the LA Gladiators, a 3-0 victory for them against the New York Excelsior, and Kevster gained MVP. So this is very, very important as well for the LA Gladiators, since that I'm pretty sure they're 10th place right now. So they need to win. What's the next match? The Uprising. They need to win that match to lock themselves in into the play-ins, and they are currently the last team looking out. So I should say looking in. So that's gonna be pretty interesting to say the least. This one I'm pretty sure basically sold the Uprising into a play-in position after their loss against the Florida Mayhem. A 3-2 victory for the Mayhem. Only Ilios, the first map, and Savasa, the third map, went to the side of the Uprising and checkmate to get an MVP. The Toronto Defiant versus the Vancouver Titans. Obviously, it was the Battle of Canada, and it was the Toronto Defiant beating out the Canadian counterparts. Only New Junk City went to the side of Vancouver Titans, another Flashpoint map, and Kaluge getting MVP for that. And finally, the San Francisco Shock, they beat out the Vegas Eternal 3-0, no surprises here. Max gained MVP for that. Now, the issue, obviously, with the standings is, on Wikipedia, they're not there, so I'm going to be right back. Okay, I have found the standings thanks to the Overwatch League website, the only time that I'll get to use this. So, the Atlanta Reign and the Florida Mayhem, both of them, are officially now in the top 3. It's just that the seedings have not been confirmed yet. The Houston Outlaws, they are now in 3rd place, which means that they have locked themselves into the playoffs, along with the Mayhem and the Reign. The Boston Uprising, they locked themselves into the play-in, so they are solidified 4th place. And then we have the Vancouver Titans, San Francisco Shock, Toronto Defiant, London Spitfire, the New York Excelsior, and the Washington Justice currently in the top 10. Pretty sure the Spitfire is also locked in as well. Don't know what the seeding is, but we know that they are officially locked into the play-ins. And currently, the LA Gladiators are currently looking inwards to hopefully win against the Boston Uprising, which is a bit of a tall task for the Gladiators to do, but could be interesting though. And then obviously the LA Valiant down 12th, and poor Vegas Eternal, who ends the season 0-16 with a -43 map differential and a map win-loss tie of 5-48. Yikes. Is this maybe a contention of maybe one of the Eternal's worst seasons? Most likely, yes. So let's now have a quick look at how the East is going with their knockouts. So let's first start off with Group A. So Group A, Poker Face, they won against Panthera, which is a bit of an upset, and Dreamers went against Rhodes. No surprises there. Well, other than Poker Face winning against Panthera. The Dallas Fuel and the Hangzhou Spark, they advanced to the upper bracket final, and I'm pretty sure next week will be the lower bracket quarterfinals with Panthera versus Dreamers and Rhodes versus Poker Face. So that's Group A. Group B is a bit of a different story. Your O2 Blast beat out the Guangzhou Charge, and Sinpresa Gaming beat out the Shanghai Dragons in the upper bracket quarterfinals. Upper bracket semifinals, though, Soul Inferno and O2 Blast won their matches in the semifinals, and now they have advanced to the upper bracket final. And in the lower bracket quarterfinals, it would be the Guangzhou Charge versus the Seoul Dynasty, and the Shanghai Dragons versus Sinpresa Gaming. So it's getting pretty tight here, especially in Group B. So that's really about it for me for today's video. Obviously, just a reminder that obviously this is what it looks like here for next week's matches. The Gladiators one is going to be very, very important, including the Rain and the Mayhem matches as well. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys on next time in the next one. Goodbye.